Welcome to this episode of the Life Work Podcast. We are joined again by Coach Jessica Nutt. We're going to have an exploration, discussion, a conversation about your calling. So when we last were talking, you were in college-ish, and you were wrestling with God's calling in your life and going from being a turbonuclear genetic physician kind of position. Yeah, we all are.
Absolutely.
Everybody is that till they have to take calculus, and then we, I may do something else here.
I haven't taken a math class since high school.
Yeah. I had college algebra in college, and yeah.
That was my last math class.
Let's just say, yeah.
Yep. And Bolivar.
Yep. Home of the Liberators.
Yes. Go Bolivar.
Yep.
I would start a fight song, but I don't remember it. I have a problem with memory.
We established that in our last episode. Although you did remember your age and you slipped it in. I don't know if you caught that.
I rounded up. I'm actually only 36.
You said 37.
I know, I'm 37 in May. So I rounded.
Well, that's a big round. I mean, we're several months away.
I mean, close.
Are you wanting to be 37?
No, I feel like I remember myself as being 24 and I've stopped.
Well, in my mind, I'm still 18, trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
Okay.
Well, the horse left that barn a long time ago. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm only 37 for all you listeners. I'm 36. Dadgummit. I'm 36.
Yeah, let's back to the math thing.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Math is hard.
It is. It is. And you're in the one sport of all the sports where math is a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So you struggled with the medical route.
Yep.
And you did a pivot.
I did.
And you did a pivot from CNA, then you were thinking about athletic training?
Yes, because I enjoyed my taping class. I enjoyed learning how to tape different things. I've had 4 knee surgeries, so I'm like, okay, I like the medical side of things, athletic training, maybe not like a surgeon, but kind of. And then I said no because I hate school. And so I did not want to go to school anymore. And so my junior year, I was like, okay, I'm going to become a teacher because I like being around kids. I like being around the sports. And so I thought that was my next best thing of I'm going to be a teacher. And so I went through the education program at Hannibal, and I did all of the certification for that, and I couldn't find a job.
So you're currently a certified teacher?
Currently certified PE and health K through 12 in Missouri.
Okay.
And graduating in May of 2011, couldn't find a job. I applied for lots of jobs. I applied for graduate assistant positions for universities for softball because I didn't want to be done with softball. And my career was done, so I thought, okay, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Couldn't find a job. Applied for lots and lots and lots, and then I became a director of intramurals at Southwest Baptist University, and that was a way to get my master's paid for because I knew that if I didn't continue going to school, I wouldn't go back and get my master's. And master's degrees are important at the collegiate level just because most hiring committees prefer the master's degree, and so I thought, okay, this is a way to get my education paid for and not have to go back because once I stopped, I knew I wasn't going back.
Yep.
So I have my master's degree from SBU.
So let me interject here a question. Yeah. So as you are wrestling and struggling and applying and getting declined, were there any struggles in the area of your faith, your walk with the Lord? Were there any questions? Why, God, am I struggling here? Why, God, am I not finding a job? I thought you wanted me to do this. I got the degree, I got the certification, the license, and nothing's coming my way. Was any of that going on? Yeah,
absolutely. Just because, like I said in episode 1, I think that I have this plan laid out and it's going to be perfect. And God's like, want to bet? And he says, this is what you're going to do. So after my senior year, I worked at Kids Across America in Southwest Missouri, and I realized that I wanted to be around sports, and working there helped me realize, like, it is about building relationships. These kids have been through way more than I've ever experienced in my life.
So for our listeners, what is Kids Across America? What is that?
Kids Across America is a Christian sports camp for inner city youth.
Okay.
And so it's a time where they spend a week learning about Jesus, sharing the gospel, and sports are involved.
Okay.
And I realized, like, I graduated with my PE degree, but working at camp, I realized this is my calling. Okay. This is something I am supposed to be doing, building relationships with students, helping them realize their potential, whether it be in sports, their relationship with Christ, their relationship with others. This is my calling. This is something I am supposed to be doing, is helping others realize.
You know, when I was a younger man, I always thought discerning God's will was a moment, that it was kind of a boom. There was this event that happened, and you knew it right then. It could be at a church service, it could be in a prayer time or something. But now, a long way removed from being that young guy, I'm now of the opinion, and I think there's some biblical warrant to this, that we learn God's will through struggle, through trials, and that the struggle is okay, because in wrestling with God in the course of that struggling, the realization of his purpose becomes more real, and it becomes, you own it, because the Lord has worked in your life, and you worked with him to discover that purpose, that will, that calling. And it, at least for me, it became much more crystal clear than if it were just, I woke up one morning and looked down the front lawn, there was a neon sign, this is God's will for your life.
That would be a lot easier, though.
It would be easier. It sure would. And that was my preference when I was a younger man. Mm-hmm. But now when I meet with younger adults and they come and talk to me about, I don't know what God's will for my life is, I said, well, get ready for a bit of a journey. Yeah. Get ready for a bit of a struggle. And that's what I'm hearing from you. Is that true for you?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's okay to struggle, because regardless of your path, like, God is going to be there. And so he was there. He kept saying, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And so I feel like working at camp, it was like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And instead of working 1 month, you're going to work all 3 months of the summer. And you're going to stay in Southwest Missouri and work at this camp with no air conditioning and no phone. And you are supposed to be here for a reason and a purpose.
And for our listeners, especially any college students, this was after graduation.
Yes.
You've already got your bachelor's degree, mm-hmm. and you're working on your master's, and you're still walking with God in this process to discover that calling.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's, and then I moved back home. I said that I was going to live at home for the rest of my life, but here I am in Walnut Ridge, America, not living with my parents, unfortunately.
They can move here with you.
That's true. They can. I have an extra bedroom.
Yes.
So, but like, going back home, I was like, I don't want to be back at home. I'm ready to live life on my own. I did it for 4 years at Hannibal. Like, I don't want to be here, but I want to be at home because it was easier. And in all reality, like, it may be easier, but it's not supposed to be something I'm supposed to be doing. Like, it's okay to have the trials and the tribulations, and you have to rely on God. Like, he helped me get through this. I applied for 80 plus jobs, and that's not an exaggeration. I applied for 80 plus jobs after college, couldn't find one. And then I was working at Kids Across America, and I got a phone call from the student life director at Southwest Baptist, and he was like, I have a job I think you'd be perfect for. Never heard of this dude in my life. And Landy Nevels is the one who put me in contact with him, and he said, I think you would be perfect for this position. And I thought, well, it's still around sports, so okay, I'll do it. And I got my master's paid for and was the director of intramurals for 2 years. And during that time, I also got to volunteer with the softball program at the university, and then got to volunteer at the high school program with their softball. And then I also did middle school basketball. So at that point, it was like, hey, you're supposed to be doing coaching. Doesn't matter what age, but this is what you're supposed to be doing. I went to church with my parents every Sunday because I still lived at home. Yeah. And so I did that for a while. I also went to church in Springfield for a while because I wanted to get out of Bolivar. I wanted to make a name for myself outside of Bolivar, Missouri.
Okay. So somewhere along the way, you are working with students, kids, building relationships. These dominoes are falling one after the other, after the other. When was the pivotal moment that you moved into collegiate coaching, that you thought, okay, the next domino to fall is this, and here it is?
Yeah, so after my master's degree, I, again, was applying for jobs because I was done with the schooling. Applied for lots of jobs, could not find a job. And then in July, so school is about to start everywhere, I got an opportunity to coach softball at Wablo, Missouri, which is a very small school, 20 minutes north of Bolivar. And I coached softball, basketball, track, and I was a co-athletic director. And then I also was teaching technology, 6th grade study hall, 6th grade world history, maybe, and then preschool, kindergarten, 1st grade, and 6th grade PE.
Oh, my word. When did you have time to breathe?
Well, I'm not on the drive.
Mm-hmm.
On the drive. So it was a 20-minute drive there and back, and it was nice to reflect. And prayer is a powerful thing, and so I got to pray on my drive. And the good thing about prayer is, like, you can literally be anywhere, pray,
yeah.
and then be done. Like, it doesn't have to be some extravagant thing. It is a conversation with God, and then you can go back and talk to him and be good.
So that was a step into coaching.
So that was
And
my coaching.
How long were you there?
I was there for 4 years.
Oh, okay.
And then, well, 3.5 technically, because an assistant position came open at Evangel University in Springfield.
Yes.
In January
Okay.
of 2016. Yeah, 2016. And I remember talking to my superintendent at the time at Wablo, Eric Wilkin, who I still talk to this day. I went up to him and I said, hey, can we make this work where I'm still under my teaching contract, but I leave maybe early on game days and then on 1 day a week where I can get to practice at Evangel? And he said, no, that's not going to work. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I just wanted to ask. And he said, so what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to stay at Wablo. Like, I have a contract. And he said, no, you're not. He said,
wow, this is a superintendent.
This is the superintendent, yeah.
Okay.
He said, no, you're not. He said, this is an opportunity to get into collegiate coaching. This is what you want to do. You're leaving.
What a wise mentor.
Yeah, like,
wow.
Yeah, I literally texted him probably 3 weeks ago because I had a girl come in from where he's a superintendent at right now.
Okay. So you went to Evangel as assistant softball coach.
Yeah, I was
Was that like a new world?
It was. And my mentor, Jay Halberg, was the head softball coach and still is, and we're actually playing them today, and I'll get to see him today. He gave me the opportunity to get my foot in the door for collegiate coaching, and it was the best decision I've ever made.
I would agree. One of them.
Yeah.
One of them.
One of the many.
So how long were you at Evangel?
So I was at Evangel for 3.5 years, and then
3.5 seems to be the number for you.
I know, but until I got here, because I'm on year 7.
I know. We want 13 more.
So my last year at Evangel, I was just looking for jobs. I wasn't necessarily looking to leave. I was just like, hey, maybe I could be a head coach somewhere. And I remember applying for the job here at Williams. I applied at the end of April, near the end of April. I applied on like a Wednesday.
Was that 2019?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019. I applied in April, got a phone call 2 days later from Coach Ryder, the athletic director.
Yes.
Then 2 days after that, I went down for an interview. And then 3 days after that, I got the offer from Coach Ryder. And then I remember getting a phone call from you as well and says, let's make this work. And now here I am.
Probably ask you in that phone call what I ask a lot of people, do you feel the Lord calling you here to Williams Baptist University?
Yeah. I do believe that everything happens for a reason, and I applied for this job, and like times before, I applied for jobs and didn't get them. So when I got this offer, I was like, clearly this is where I'm supposed to be. I knew of Walnut Ridge because Williams was in Hannibal's conference.
Right.
And so I had been here. I remember flooding in Pocahontas, and I was like, how are we going to play these games? And Walnut Ridge didn't flood. It just was Pocahontas that flooded.
I have yet to find it, but I know there's a ridge in Walnut Ridge, and I think the ridge had a lot to do with keeping the waters at bay back in that day.
Yeah, so I felt like this was where I was supposed to be because of how quickly the process happened. And so I talked with Jay and his wife, Jamie. Obviously, I talked with my parents, and I prayed, and I just felt at peace.
Yeah.
Because I felt like this is where I'm supposed to be. And I got the reassurance, because I'm a female and need that. I got the reassurance from Jay and Jamie and my parents, and my parents helped me move here in May, and been here since.
So for our listeners, we did interview. I did notice the Bolivar connection. I did ask about being there around the same time. You did not tell me, and I guess I was too dense to put the dots together, that your dad was my eye doctor.
I know. Small
Only
world.
You told me afterward.
Well, I didn't want...
That's what you said.
Yep, I didn't want that to be the reason. Like, okay, people, it matters who you know. And so, like, who you know gets you in the door, but what you know keeps you. And so I wanted to make a name for myself. I mean, shout out to my dad for being your eye doctor. but I think, like I wanted to make a name for myself and say, this is why I'm here.
Yeah. So now you have what I would call the ministry of being a collegiate level softball coach. Mm-hmm. For our listeners, kind of describe the big picture of ministry, of how you envision your program, what kind of impact, what kind of, back to the relationship thing, how that plays out for what you want for each member of your team.
Yeah, so we have 32 girls on our softball team this year. And I told my dad actually the other night, I have 32 girls on my team, and I have to coach them 32 different ways. And that is all about building relationships with them, because you have to know who they are as a person. Who you are as a person matters more than the softball player. And it's about creating those relationships. And it's about the culture that I created here at Williams. My first year was not the best year. And on top of that, it was the start of COVID. And so I thought, again, during that time, I said, am I supposed to be doing this? Because all of this stuff is happening. And I'm like, what are we doing now? God, why do you want me here when XYZ happened and then the COVID happened? And I'm like, I thought I was supposed to be coaching, and I'm 8-8, gonna have an All-American. Why did this happen? And that was hard because, like, obviously the pandemic shut everything down. But in all reality, the relationships that I built with the athletes during that COVID time, since I've been here, like, is all about who you are as a person matters, and the relationships matter, and the culture matters. And so we have a team hashtag for our softball program, and it is #fight. And the number one component for that is fight for Christ, because we want everyone to know who WBU softball is. We want others to see who Christ is. We want us to show others who Christ is, share his love with others, and just be a light in the dark for others.
Do you have one or two outcomes you want for each athlete that plays for you? When they graduate, what is it you want to see in their life?
I want them to realize it's okay to not be okay, and I want them to realize how you treat other people matters.
So you've been doing this a while. You've been doing this long enough that you now have some softball alums out in the world.
Yep.
Do they ever call you back and thank you and talk to you and say, you've made this difference in my life? This is the impact you had?
Yeah. I think, like, the impact word is big, because my assistant coach, Ashley Dahl, is someone I coached and have known for over 10 years. And so I think that is a testament to our relationship. Is like, I wanted her to come work for Williams and be a part of our program because of the relationship that we had. And so I get to work along Ashley every single day, and she makes our program better because of that. And so I actually texted someone from my very first year, and she said, like, thank you for the impact that you had. I didn't realize it at the time, but now looking back, like, thank you. And you do truly care about the person. And that's what matters. Like, I don't care how many wins and losses I have, but I care about the relationships, and I care about making them a better person and realizing, like, God is on your side, I'm on your side, and he's going to get you through it.
So reversing the roles here for you, what would you say to your coaches or your mentors if they were to listen to this podcast, and hopefully they will, what would you say to them? Thank you for what?
I would just say thank you for your leadership. There's a song that came out recently, and it's called God, I'm Just Grateful. And I mean that with my whole heart. The impact that every person has had on my life, whether it be good or bad, matters. And it helped shape me into the person that I am today. And God, I'm just grateful.
That's a good note to end on. And let me say to you, I am grateful to you for being here. I'm grateful for the work you have done and are doing, for the culture you've created. We're proud of our softball program in every way. And so, Coach Nutt, thank you for being here and for the work God is doing through you. You are making a difference.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet.